We were flying flood relief, and flood relief and rescuing people was some of the highlights of helicopters. Actually saved a few lives, I believe. But in 1974, the floods in New South Wales, we actually took over from the flying doctor, and I remember, because all the airfields were covered in water, and the flying doctor couldn't land their fixed-wing aircraft, and I was flying out to pick up a lady that was about to give birth. Waters had broken, and we were racing out with the doctor to get to her, and all of a sudden I got a warning light, and it was the transmission oil warning light, and apparently a pipe had broken and it was pumping out. And of course what Bell helicopters used to say was, we can only guarantee the rotor will keep going for 30 seconds or so with no oil, simply because oil, as most people, aviators would understand, dissipates heat as much as it lubricates. And of course, without any oil in the transmission, your temperatures would go up and it would break or fuse or whatever. So I remember throwing it into full auto rotation from about 2,000 feet and getting to the ground just as the oil pressure went to absolute zero. So I reckon I had 30 seconds up my sleeve, thank goodness. And the lady was picked up by another helicopter, so we didn't get back for that one. But the other one was, you used to, when you took off, you'd check the power in the helicopter and make sure you had your engine performance before you committed to pulling out of a hole in the trees or whatever. And this particular day, I'll swear to my dying day, I had the power, and I pulled the collective up and committed to the takeoff, and the rotor rev started to bleed off. I didn't have enough power. And I remember that I used the technique that we'd been taught for Vietnam to get out of pads that didn't have enough power. If you threw a whole lot of troops on board and had to save their lives, for example, and went overweight, you might need to use this technique. And I was pumping the collective for about a third to half a kilometre as I'm flying out amongst a rising band of trees with my skids in the trees, not getting... I can't even remember if I got to translational, and I kept bleeding off and I kept pumping, and we managed to get over the trees without full revs at the far side. And I remember feeling very relieved, but I don't think I was as relieved as the crewman was on that occasion.